Gentlemen, let's address the engine room, that vital, powerful center of your health that, after 60, might feel like it's running on a weaker battery. You've felt it, that slight dip in stamina, that longer road to readiness. And while the world shouts about pills and procedures, what if I told you the most powerful prescription for your vitality is already in your kitchen? It's not a miracle drug. It's your breakfast. Good morning. Today, we're cutting through the noise and talking plainly about blood flow, not just to your heart, but to every essential part of you. The truth is, what fuels your heart fuels your life force. And there is one simple, powerful addition to your morning ritual that can act as a catalyst, turning your bloodstream into a river of life instead of a sluggish creek. That one thing, beets, not a pill, not a complex regimen, beets. And here's why this humble root vegetable is your new morning ally. Let's delve into the elegant biochemistry at play, because this is where the magic truly happens. You consume these dietary nitrates from your morning beet, and they are absorbed relatively intact through the upper part of your digestive system. This is a crucial point. They bypass much of the stomach's harsh environment and enter your bloodstream as nitrate ions. Now, here's where your own biology takes over in a fascinating symbiotic process. Approximately 25% of these circulating nitrates are actively extracted by your salivary glands and concentrated into your saliva. This isn't an accident, it's a designed recycling system. When you swallow, you deliver this nitrate-rich saliva to your digestive tract once more, but this time it encounters a specific family of beneficial bacteria that reside on the back of your tongue. These bacteria possess an enzyme called nitrate reductase, and their sole purpose in this context is to perform a simple but life-altering chemical conversion. They turn the nitrate into nitrite. This newly formed nitrite is absorbed again, entering your bloodstream for a second time, now primed for its final transformation. As it circulates, particularly in the slightly acidic, oxygen-deprived environments found in struggling tissues or simply within the lining of your blood vessels, that nitrite converts into the prized molecule, nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide not as a brute force pump, but as a masterful conductor and a skilled locksmith. It works at the most microscopic level within the endothelium, that single, silky layer of cells lining the interior of every artery, vein, and capillary. When NO is present, it binds to receptors within the smooth muscle cells surrounding these vessels, triggering a cascade that tells those muscle fibers to relax. This relaxation, this giving way, is vasodilation. It is the direct, physical uncrimping of the hose. The channel widens, the resistance drops, and the flow of blood carrying its vital cargo of oxygen, nutrients, and hormonal signals becomes profoundly easier. What makes this nitrate pathway from beets so exceptional for men over 60 is its bypass of a potentially compromised system. As we age, our body's own endogenous internal production of nitric oxide, which relies on the conversion of the amino acid L-arginine, can become less efficient. This pathway can be hampered by oxidative stress, poor diet, and simply the wear and tear on the endothelial lining itself. The beet nitrate pathway is exogenous. It comes from outside. It is a workaround. It doesn't rely on your body's sometimes faltering internal factory. It provides the raw material that your oral bacteria and blood chemistry can convert using a different, often more resilient production line. This is nutritional biohacking at its finest. Furthermore, the effect is not a fleeting spike like that from stimulants. It is a sustained, gentle wave of support that builds over hours after consumption, providing a foundational improvement in circulation that supports every organ and function. This single morning habit effectively lays down a new, smoother pavement on your circulatory superhighway, ensuring that the traffic of life, the blood, can move with less friction, less effort, and far greater efficiency to all destinations, especially those that rely on rapid and robust flow for peak performance. It is a daily renovation of your inner infrastructure, starting with a simple crimson-colored key. To understand why we take a heart-first approach, you must first internalize a fundamental, non-negotiable truth of human physiology. Your body operates on a single, integrated circulatory system. There is no separate, dedicated pipeline for vitality, for brain power, or for sexual function. There is one system, a vast, branching network of arteries, veins, and capillaries serviced by one central pump, your heart. When you target the health of that system at its core, you are by definition enhancing the performance of every single endpoint, every organ, every tissue that depends on its lie. Giving flow. This is the cornerstone of systemic medicine. Attempting to improve blood flow to one specific area without first ensuring the central engine and its main pipelines are in optimal condition is like trying to get strong water pressure to a top floor bathroom while ignoring a rusty, constricted main supply line and a weak well pump. You might see a temporary, fleeting change, but you will never achieve sustained, reliable performance. For a man over 60, the heart and major arteries have faced decades of wear. Plaque may have subtly built up, arterial walls may have stiffened, and the heart muscle itself may have to work slightly harder to overcome this increased resistance. This is the silent background noise against which all other circulatory demands are made. When the heart is straining, every request for increased flow, whether it's for a brisk walk, for mental focus, or for sexual response, becomes a greater challenge. It's an economy of supply and demand, and if the supply is constrained at the source, the peripheral demands will always be the first to be rationed. This is precisely why the nitrate conversion we discussed is so profoundly important for the heart itself. By relaxing and dilating the coronary arteries, the very vessels that supply the heart muscle with its own oxygen, rich blood, you are directly enhancing the pump's own fuel supply. A heart that receives more oxygen works more efficiently. It doesn't need to beat as forcefully or as rapidly to achieve the same output. This lowers central blood pressure, eases the strain on the entire system, and creates a powerful, positive ripple effect. The improved elasticity and reduced resistance in the major arteries mean that with each beat, a stronger, smoother wave of blood is sent coursing outward. That wave travels more easily, encountering less friction, and therefore arrives more potently at every destination. So, by nourishing your heart, by literally feeding it the compounds it needs to optimize its own function and the health of its major highways, you are not doing something instead of targeting vitality. You are building the indispensable foundation for it. You are ensuring that when the signals for increased blood flow are sent signals that are natural, healthy, and intended, the central command and the supply lines are fully capable of executing order without delay, without deficit, and without putting undue stress on the system as a whole. This is the essence of sustainable health strategy. You support the center, and the periphery thrives as a natural, effortless consequence. Consider, for a moment, the concept of friction, not the friction of the physical world, but a silent, internal friction that grinds away at the very machinery of your vitality. This is oxidative stress, and it is the inevitable byproduct of life itself, the biological equivalent of exhaust from an engine. Every metabolic process, every bit of energy produced, even the simple act of breathing, generates unstable molecules called free radicals. In their quest for stability, they steal electrons from healthy cells, damaging them in a corrosive chain reaction. For your circulatory system, this is the rust that forms on the delicate endothelial lining of your blood vessels. This lining is not a passive pipe. It is a dynamic, living organ, responsible for producing that crucial nitric oxide and maintaining the smooth, non-sticky surface that allows blood to flow freely. When free radicals assail this lining, they cause scars, trigger inflammation, and create a sticky environment where plaque can more easily begin to form. The result is a vessel that is less flexible, more constricted, and fundamentally less capable of performing its duties. This oxidative damage is a primary accelerator of aging, particularly within the cardiovascular system. Enter the Beets' second, lesser, known but equally formidable weapon, Betalains. These are the vibrant pigments that give beets their profound crimson and golden hues, and they belong to a rare family of antioxidants you won't find in most common fruits or vegetables. Think of common antioxidants like vitamins C and E as a general cleanup crew, valuable and necessary. Betalains, however, are a specialized, elite tactical unit. Their unique chemical structure allows them to perform a dual function with remarkable efficiency. First, they are powerful direct scavengers of free radicals, neutralizing these damaging particles on contact and halting the corrosive chain reaction of oxidation at its source. They act as a molecular sacrifice, giving up electrons to pacify free radicals before they can pilfer them from your endothelial cells. This direct action is like applying a protective anti-rust coating to the inner walls of your vascular system. But their true genius lies in their second, systemic function. Betalains are potent anti-inflammatory agents. Inflammation is not inherently bad. It's the body's repair response to injury. But chronic, low-grade inflammation, often fueled by oxidative stress, is like having a slow, burning fire within the walls of your blood vessels. This fire causes swelling, irritates tissues, and sends continuous signals that further degrade the endothelial lining and constrict blood flow. Betalains have been shown to directly interfere with the body's inflammatory pathways at a cellular level, suppressing the activity of specific enzymes and signaling molecules that fan these flames. By dampening this inflammatory response, betalains help to calm the internal environment. This allows the endothelium to shift from a state of constant defense and repair back to its primary vital functions: relaxation, communication, and the seamless facilitation of flow. The synergy here is profound. The nitrates in beets work to widen the vascular channels, while the betalains simultaneously repair and protect the very walls of those channels, ensuring they remain smooth, resilient, and responsive. This one-two punch addresses both the function and the foundational health of the system. It's not merely about creating a temporary opening. It's about restoring the quality and integrity of the pathway itself, ensuring that the improvements you seek are not a fleeting reaction, but a lasting renovation of your internal landscape, starting with the very bedrock of your circulation. The concept of stamina is often misunderstood. We think of it as a matter of muscle strength or willpower, but at its core, stamina is a logistical challenge. It is the story of supply and demand written in the language of physiology. Every movement you make, from climbing a flight of stairs to lifting a grandchild, requires your muscles to contract. That contraction burns fuel and, critically, consumes oxygen. The efficiency with which your muscles receive that oxygen, utilize it, and clear away the metabolic waste produced like lactic acid is what dictates whether you feel energized and strong or whether you are quickly winded, fatigued, and heavy with burn. For a man over 60, the creeping sense of diminished stamina, that need to pace oneself, is rarely a story of muscles that have suddenly forgotten their job. It is far more frequently a tale of a delivery system that has become less efficient. The demand from the muscles hasn't changed, but the supply chain has developed delays. This is where your morning beet shifts from being a preventive health measure to a direct performance enhancer, because it optimizes that supply chain at the most fundamental level. The mechanism is one of profound biological economy. When the nitrates from beets convert to nitric oxide and your blood vessels dilate, you are not merely creating more space for blood to flow. You are fundamentally increasing the total volume of oxygenated blood that can be delivered to your working tissues per minute. This is known as enhanced perfusion. Imagine a network of roads leading to a busy factory. If the roads are narrow and congested, the delivery trucks arrive slowly, sporadically, and the factory must slow its production lines, creating bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Now, imagine those roads are widened and smoothed. The same number of trucks can now deliver their cargo faster and more reliably. The factory can operate at a higher, smoother pace with less downtime. Your skeletal muscles are that factory. The widened vascular roads mean more oxygen. Rich blood arrives at the muscle cells precisely when they need it. This has two powerful immediate effects. First, the mitochondria, the tiny power plants within your muscle cells, receive a richer, more consistent supply of their primary fuel, oxygen. With better fuel, they produce energy more efficiently. This means each muscle contraction can be fueled more effectively, requiring less overall effort from your cardiovascular system to achieve the same work. You literally become more fuel efficient. Second, and equally important, is the effect on waste removal. Muscle fatigue and that familiar burning sensation are intensely linked to the accumulation of metabolic byproducts like lactate. A robust, high-volume blood flow doesn't just deliver goods. It also acts as a rapid waste disposal service. By enhancing circulation, you are speeding up the removal of these fatigue-inducing substances from the muscle tissue. The burn subsides faster, and recovery between efforts begins almost immediately. This is why research on beetroot juice consistently shows it reduces the oxygen cost of exercise, meaning the body requires less oxygen to perform the same workload because the entire system, from lungs to heart to capillaries, is operating with less friction and greater precision. The stamina you gain isn't a stimulant, like jittery energy. It is the deep, calm endurance of a system that is finally being supplied according to its true needs. This translates directly and powerfully to the boardroom of your vitality. The same robust circulatory efficiency that fuels a longer, stronger walk also ensures that when neural signals demand increased blood flow to specific regions for arousal, the response is immediate, abundant, and sustained. The body does not differentiate between the vascular demand of a working quadricep and any other tissue. It only knows how to mobilize its resources. By training your circulatory system to be more responsive and efficient through consistent nitrate-rich nutrition, you are building a foundation of readiness that serves every physical aspiration, from the public pursuit of fitness to the private expressions of intimacy with the same reliable, life-affirming power. So, gentlemen, what we have laid bare is not a folk remedy or a fleeting trend, but a compelling convergence of nutritional science and human physiology. The humble beetroot serves as a powerful delivery system for two distinct yet synergistic forces: dietary nitrates that masterfully orchestrate the dilation of your blood vessels by boosting nitric oxide, and the potent betalain antioxidants that act as a protective shield, guarding those very vessels from the corrosive rust of oxidation and inflammation. This is not magic. It is mechanics. It is the deliberate daily maintenance of your most critical infrastructure, your circulatory system, using the precise biochemical tools that nature has provided and that modern science has now irrefutably validated. This brings us to the foundational principle that must guide every health decision you make, the incontrovertible truth of systemic unity. By choosing to nourish your heart, to relax your arteries, and to reduce the central strain on your cardiovascular pump, you are not engaging in a sideline activity. You are engaging in central command. You are optimizing the source of all flow. The vitality you seek in specific areas is an inevitable downstream benefit of upstream health. A stronger, more efficient heart and cleaner, more flexible arteries do not possibly improve peripheral circulation. They are the absolute prerequisite for it. This approach reframes the goal from one of isolated symptom management to one of holistic systemic enhancement, where benefits multiply and compound across every function of your body and life. Therefore, the call to action is not one of complexity or deprivation, but of elegant, simple addition. This is about integration, not overhaul. It is the understanding that your most powerful health ritual can begin with the grating of a root vegetable into your morning meal or the deep crimson hue of a daily juice. The power lies in the consistency of that choice, in the daily decision to provide your body with the raw materials, It craves to repair, restore, and perform. This act of daily provision is, in itself, a profound source of empowerment. It moves you from a passive passenger in your health journey to the active, informed pilot, restoring a sense of agency and confidence that radiates far beyond the physical. In the end, this is about more than blood flow. It is about the reclamation of vitality in its truest, most holistic sense. It is about the energy to engage fully in your life, the stamina to pursue your passions without hesitation, and the confident knowledge that your body is supported by a foundation of robust, resilient health. The invitation is on your table. Start tomorrow. Embrace this simple, profound act of nourishment and witness how a single, powerful choice at sunrise can transform the quality of every sunset that follows. Your body, in all its wisdom, is ready to respond. Thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more informative videos. Your support helps the channel grow and brings more helpful content to you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Goodbye.